G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to my quickfire Saints versus North preseason review. Hope you had an awesome weekend so far. It's Sunday night and I'm just getting started actually because obviously pumping this video out and then I'm going to be joined by the great Damo and Freo Tragic to do our Fremantle team preview. So plenty of relevant players there, going to be a cracking episode. We'll be recording tonight, most likely out tomorrow, but we are here for the Pracky game review. In case you didn't manage to catch the game today, I did take a few notes, so I will be reading from a bit of a pad here. But look, there's some question marks over some players and players that weren't really on my radar, such as Riley Bonner, that we must have a chat about. So let's start with the Saints. And Riley Bonner is a super interesting selection. Looked amazing. Gave us a lot to think about. 30 touches at 76% efficiency. Like Fisher was just everywhere today. If only he was available as a defender. One piece of play that really stood out to me, and I think really summed his game up here, was he came up aggressively to the stoppage, hard ball get, give and go, received again, and then delivered a bullet into Max King, who then converted a goal. I thought, wow, here we go. Could really have a play here on our hands. But remember, he has done this in the preseason before and given us some what I'd call fool's gold. So we need to be very, very careful with the Bonner type picks. But if you were keen on Bonner before this match, then you'll absolutely be locking him in. The awkward thing here is the price and the fact that he's only available as a midfielder. At the moment, that's the case, but surely with the role that he played today, he will be getting DPP and playing down back. Now, an issue for me is that Jack Sinclair wasn't in the side, so although he played really well along Nazaya, Wanganeen, Millera, Jack Sinclair wasn't there. So how much of the pie does Jack take? He's pretty much the main man back there, so that's going to be a really interesting watch for me. But with Bonner, he was always presenting as an option, kicked a massive goal as well. The win certainly helped him, I think, with that one, but that was just from outside 50. Just missed another from outside 50 also. A couple of shanks, one out in the full, but even had some bonus kickings. And after this match, I guarantee you that his ownership will absolutely start to rise. So super game from Riley Bonner. Main question mark for me is fool's gold with Jack Sinclair coming in. Main question mark. Not saying that he is, but just a question mark for me anyway. So we'll go past Wilkie, Burns. Look, Jack Steele played well, scored from tackles and contested possessions this game. Nothing fancy, and for me, actually went a little bit under the radar. But if you're keen on him, again, I've just said this with Bonner, but if you're keen on him before this match, he scored, 111 points at the end of the day, contested, tackled well. You're pretty happy. So am I going there? Still probably not. I prefer Matt Crouch at this stage, but he's given me a lot to think about, just like Riley Bonner. So Jack Steele could come back to hurt me again. I'm really not too sure. Wanganeen Millera, 107 points, 29 touches. A pretty unassuming game from him, but obviously played well. Nice run and carry. Very similar to Bonner at the top there. Probably a little bit more impressed with Bonner, though, and his Supercoach score would suggest that. Darcy Wilson. Now, this bloke is an absolute lock in our Supercoach teams. 24 touches at 87%, 10 marks. Just in the first term alone, 8 touches for 38 points. And then the average 8 touches per quarter after that as well. So pretty consistent and certainly did have an impact. A couple of frees went his way for some high contact. So though he's more of an outside type player, certainly not afraid to put his head over the ball and get dirty. So I'm a big fan of this pick. Really exceeded my expectations. And look, playing half forward, playing wing, it's not the ideal type role, but he seems like a bloke that just knows how to find the football. And these are the blokes that we want in our Supercoach side. So for me, I've always had him in, but he's been more of that bench option. I certainly think that particularly at your F6 spot, if you want to go a bit lighter there, he could now be an on-field option. So super impressed with Darcy Wilson, and surely he's got to be 90+% ownership for anyone that takes the game really, really seriously. Rowan, look, he was on and off in the first. Blood rule, bit of a head knock as he tends to do at times. Owens was the one that really took over there. But look, nothing spectacular from Rowan. It was a solid game. I think the main thing was, I think in the third quarter, took a really nice mark, probably the highlight of the day from Rowan's perspective. But he just got through. What was his time on ground? So 79%, that's not too bad. You'd be hoping for a little bit more from Rowan. You'd hope that he'd rest forward at times. But look, did he do anything to say pick me? Don't think so. But if you were on the Rowan train, particularly if you're not a fan of Grundy, then I think he did enough for you to be happy enough, I'd say anyway. Owen's massive first half. Look, unfortunately, did fade a little bit, but the bloke was just everywhere. I love Mitch Owens. And when Rowan was out of the game, he played their second ruck role, and doesn't he do well? So agile, obviously really great when it comes to the ground ball there as well against his larger opponents, but kicked a goal, some great marks. It was actually 2 goals. Great handball receive, hard ball gets as well. I've got heaps of highlights here. I'm not going to go through them, but I'll tell you what, as a pod selection, I really, really like this man. He's such a versatile type player, and I'm going to make a big call. Mitch Owens will win the best and fairest this year down there at Moorabbin. Big call, I know, but really rate him as a player. And then we'll probably quickly go down to Schoenmaker, 60 points, 13 touches, 11 of those handballs, so you can't get a lot from that, but a decent enough score. And with Dougal Howard going down with a hamstring, don't know how long he's going to be out for. Does he now really put his hand up for an early berth? So another option that we've got. I would probably still look elsewhere at this stage. And can I just say, Jimmy Webster, have a good hard look at yourself, son. What a dog ZAC that was, preseason game or not, but particularly in a preseason game. Super disappointing. Rub this bloke out for 6 minimum. 6 minimum is my call. Any more, I'll just be happy. So Jack, I was going to call him Jack. So Jimmy Webster, absolutely terrible. Alrighty, onto the Roos now, and lots of relevant players here. And the man at the top of this list, all I can say is, wowee, you've proved me wrong. Respect to you. Sometimes you just got to put your hand up. I said that ZAC Fisher was going to be a very ordinary pick. But, well, what do you say after this game? I've just got to swallow my pride and say, congratulations, son. I just didn't see it coming. Best on for North, in my opinion. 36 touches for 132 Supercoach points. A really nice kick-to-handball ratio, 25-11 there. Not too many contested possessions, but he did everything that you'd want to see from this pick. Really got my interest with 6 early touches, and then he just didn't stop. He was everywhere, crumbing well, looking for 1-2. Seemed as if he didn't have an opponent at times. Had great energy, just desperate for impact, and his defensive pressure was certainly on. Nice spoils as well. As you can see here, it's basically just the all-round game. Great follow-up, just super impressive bonus kick-ins as well. That provides upsides. And look, could he be your new Sam Flanders? I know that lots of people weren't too happy with Flanders' performance, and you're getting this guy at about 100K cheaper. Could he be the option for you? I've got so many notes here. I don't even know where to go. I just think that his ownership will skyrocket. And what was good today was that he's really consistent throughout the whole game. You know, even last quarter, didn't start on, and this one, Sheasel came on, had a little bit of an impact, but I reckon within 10 seconds of coming onto the field, he got an early touch, another touch, and again, just kept on going. So it certainly puts a little bit of a spanner in the works for me, because I'm now looking for a way to fit him into the team. He was more impressive than Sheasel, much more impressive than McKercher, and I had those two blokes rated much more highly than I did ZAC Fisher. So am I jumping the gun here? Am I being too reactive? I'm not too sure. I'd love to listen to other people's opinions, which I'll do after I put the video out. But for me, it's going to be hard not to start. Very, very hard. Now, the Shees had a huge last quarter with 13 touches, which really got him to his 100. Didn't set the world on fire. Couple of nice receives and long kicks early. Lovely left peg assist to Zerha, but played mainly on Henry. Faded out of the game a little bit for me, particularly in that third quarter. But look, late, what do you take from this? Just 13 possessions. Attended a CBA late as well. So I was worried. I'll give you that. I was a little bit worried, and I thought, look, has Fisher just simply taken over here? But we saw what he can do in a limited amount of time in that last quarter. He's still in for me at this stage, but I'm not as confident as what I was. Again, I don't want to be too reactive to this game, but look, could he be the man you go down back and Fisher up forward, or could you replace, if you're looking to go with Sheasel, simply for a Fisher, and look for another option down back. I still think, that both are fine, but can they both score 100 plus week upon week? I really don't know. So many question marks still for me, but it's going to be a fun year in Supercoach. Cherry will go down to a solid for 99. Another option for Grundy, but at times he was matched up on Owens, where he obviously had a big size advantage. A little bit risky for me because you don't really have an exit plan, but I suppose with a 99, he is an option. He's a realistic option. Just for me, I'm not a fan of going down that path. Biggie was great. Like, the thing with Biggie, for me anyway, is that he just seemed to pop up at the right times, this bloke. So 87 points, 8 kicks, 7 handballs, 6 marks, only 5 of those contested, but 93% efficiency. Damn, he played well without playing some sort of a superstar game. He was just really solid for me. And as I said, just had a knack of floating up at the right time, really kept his head, which was good, some nice marks. And I think he was really the pick of the tall defenders. It could be him versus Pink. And if you quickly go down to Toby Pink, well, he scored a 70 today. Very interesting score from him because it was a 44-point last quarter. Managed to double his disposal count just in that last quarter, talking about Toby Pink here. So although the score was relatively close-ish, Biggie for me had much more of an impact. Pink for me, more of that lockdown type, and he can't score overly well in that role. But both did okay. And if you're looking to select either, then yeah, either are fine. But if I'm selecting one or the two, Biggie's the one that impressed me more today. We'll have to look into best 22s, 23s. I'll speak to my man Big J about this, but really impressed me, Biggie, and certainly a realistic option, firmly on my radar. Gota and Larky both played pretty well, but not realistic options for me. Dersma, now this bloke was super impressive. Got involved early, caught high, slotted a set shot for goal. And I tell you what, this bloke's hands are absolutely elite. I can see why he went so early in the draft and why North were really, really hot on him. In the second, lovely tackle on Steele. 30 seconds later, lead up for a nice mark. Didn't convert, but should have been paid another mark, I think, not long after there. So a few missed opportunities. This could have actually been a triple-figure score for me. As I said, hands were great. That's his big strength. I took another great mark off a risky Sheasel kick. Sad he couldn't really convert on the siren. But look, this was really, I won't say a complete game, but if you're selecting Dersma in your side, you'd be really happy. For me, I just don't love the role. But the talent is undeniable. I think he's got the potential to give you some 80, 90 type scores on a good day, but also some 40 to maybe 50 type scores as well. So with lots of players who get you good and you bad, but young player, predominantly forward for North, I just don't love the role, but the talent, certainly there. Lazaro was another one that was pretty impressive for me, 69 from 21 touches, but I actually thought he deserved to score a little bit more than that. Actually liked his game. Such a workhorse, this bloke. Consistent second, third efforts all game. Lined up for the first CBA, which is a decent sign. Look for 1-2s, fantastic pressure. The issue for Lazaro, and this may be the reason why he didn't score fantastically well, was the fact that he wasn't really clean. Few turnovers here and there. But as I said, when he did commit a turnover, he was certainly there fighting for the ball again. You love to see that dogged determination, and Lazaro's going to give you this each and every week. But he did fade out at times, then seemed to come in, get a few touches in pretty quick succession. So again, a solid game from him. It could be your Windsor versus Lazaro. Who do I prefer? Probably the Lazaro type. Look, he's not as clean as your Windsor, I'll give you that, but he's got more of a mature body, has more contested style to him. So that's probably why I'd prefer him. Should get some CBAs. So all in all, it's a really tough one. But yeah, I thought that without doing anything absolutely eye-catching, that he was a pretty solid contributor on the day. Wardlaw for me, absolute tackling machine, so tough, super tough in the contest. But the issue here is the fact that he's only got 10 touches, and 10 touches just won't get you a high enough average to be really relevant here. So if you can up his disposal count, maybe up that time on ground, he could be a super selection at this stage. Just got a few concerns, particularly about those 10 touches. He needs to do a little bit more for me. Now, McKercher. Terrible conditions, but looked very, very sloppy at times. Very quiet in the first, then got on his bike in the second, had a bit of an impact. It really was the Fisher-Sheasel combo that got the points, leaving McKercher a little bit behind. 17 touches is okay, but that 58 points isn't great. Did some nice things. We can see that the talent's there, a couple of nice smothers, which was good, was more active in that second quarter. Did die out a little bit from time to time. Hard to compete when you've got two other blokes coming off half back that are getting 60 plus possessions between them. So we can't really get 90 between three, you wouldn't say, on any given day. So maybe it wasn't his day. Played a lot better the week before. Am I scared off him? No. Could there be other options that you'd play on field? Your Darcy Wilsons, your Huswaits, possibly. So McKercher, some may be spooked, but I still think he's going to be a solid option. Maybe not as solid as what I first thought, seeing him with both Fisher and Sheasel on the side. Maybe not enough points to go around there. And as I said, just a little bit sloppy at times. We'll see how we go with McKercher. A fair bit to think about. Powell, what did he get? 50 points. Pretty quiet, though. One that I'd pretty much scratch off the list just for now. If you did select him in your side, big question marks on him. Dawson did a couple of nice things. Nice intercept mark. I think there was a nice contested one there. Decent spoil, but nothing eye-catching. Just did the job. I think there are better options at this stage. Oh, man. And LDU looked like he wasn't interested. No burst from stoppage. No energy. Just did not get out of first gear. And this is pretty concerning. Only 14 touches. A whole lot of the day was a nice little aggressive kick into the corridor on the first. Just couldn't find space, lacked energy, as I mentioned, gave some frees away. An absolute dog of a day for 36 Supercoach points. Now, he's been in my side for a lot of the preseason. Now got major question marks. Is ZAC Butters as well after that ankle injury? What do you do there? If anything, these practice match games have created carnage in my Supercoach mind. I don't know what to do anymore. I was so set on my strategy, so set on my players, and then things happen. I promised myself I wouldn't get sucked into things, but do I need to get, not sucked into things, but do I need to actually react to what's been going on in these games? Surely you've got to take notice. We've got round 0 where 8 teams will be able to get some more data, but for the teams such as the Saints, North, well, this is all we've got for now. So a lot to think about, guys. Hopefully that was a little bit of assistance, particularly if you didn't watch the game. Stay tuned for our Freo team preview that's coming up very, very soon. And next week, a massive week full of team previews, a big team reveal, and plenty more. So take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again soon. Bye.